My fellow readers and I, Dark Symphony 777, with a fan fiction reading. As always, a link to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, and leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts of the video, as well as any future fan fictions you want me to read or review. Now, there comes a day where you see something ridiculous and you try to make heads or tails of it. That's basically what's called a troll fic. It's a comedy story meant to not troll the characters. The story more like troll the reader. You do a swerve just for the sake of swerve. If you're a wrestling fan, you probably know Vince Russo. He was known for being the guy who swerves all the time. So just look at any information about Vince Russo, you'll probably kind of figure out what that is. Troll fic is basically just either tricking people or pissing them off on purpose. Just kind of troll on people. I've read a lot of troll fics. Kind of similar is a crack fic where the story makes no sense. Crack fic is usually stories that don't really make any sense. It's just you're sitting at home and you just, I'm gonna write a story, and you start clapping on a keyboard. It's like space. Need proper grammar, and then just get a bunch of grammar errors wrong on purpose, and then you upload it and wait for people. But you'll actually say that people will actually tell if it's purposely done on badly or not. My Immortal is a good kind of sort of example, because it's gotten to the point where no one really knows if My Immortal is an actually purposely done bad fic, or it's just done where the author was trying to be serious and, make this weirdo story. Just do research on My Immortal. And then there's this story. Yes, this actually reeks that. Just digest it. Just soak in that title. Just soak in that title. So what we have here is a story called Kim, Jong, Elmo versus Dick Cheney and George Bush featuring Lapis Lazuli. Here's Lapis right there in the middle. She has zero F's. She tossed them all out as soon as she saw what happened. It's done, She pulled out all the F's she had in her body and she just threw them away. This is a story by Just Sagan. Or Sagan. Sagan? Just Sagan? I'm going to say Just Sagan. And it reads, the spirit of Kim Jong-il is now in control of Elmo. Now it's up to Dick Cheney and a certain blue gem to stop him. Okay, it's also a Sesame Street Steven Universe crossover story. So, okay. And I was just randomly looking for stories to read or review, and I found this, and I was like, I gotta make a video about the story. It's just too ridiculous not to make a video about the story. So, let's get started. Sesame Street, what was once a vibrant and happy place, is now under the boot of communism, all thanks to their new leader, Kim Jong Elmo. Because as you more than likely already know, unless you never paid attention in history class, Kim Jong-il was actually a spiritual being that was made of pure communism. What? He's made of pure communism? I'm pretty sure that was Stalin's job. Because wasn't he the guy who kind of invented the term communism? I'm not 100% sure. I'm too lazy to do the research. But I'm pretty sure he's the one who said... I hate yawning. I'm pretty sure he's the guy who said, who kind of did the Red Scare and then created communism. I'm pretty sure that's it. Was it Karl Marx? I don't know. I don't know. So when he died, he needed a new host. Unfortunately for us, the host he chose was one of our greatest American heroes, Elmo. What? Elmo is an American hero. Not American. What's next? He's gonna possess. What's next? We're gonna see a sequel where he possesses Hulk Hogan and then Randy Savage elbow drops him from heaven. That'd be actually pretty hilarious. Like a Kim Jong-il possessed Hulk Hogan versus a, what's the opposite of communism? Nationalism. Donald Trump. Donald Trump possessed John Cena. Right? Well, Trump's not dead yet. Because everyone's gonna die eventually. But someone who is very for, you know what? Let's just do Robbie Ron. Like Carl Stephen Stevenson possesses Kermit the Frog. You know, let's do the Muppets versus the Muppets. And then they duke it out in a wrestling ring all around the world. To the tune of Shooting Stars. God. I gotta stop giving fanfic authors fuel for sequels. Let's see. When the spirit of Kim Jong-il took over Elmo began to enforce new rules for Sesame Street. He created focus time camps. You mean like concentration camps? Okay. Segregated humans and puppets. Turned the Swedish chef's kitchen into a nuke kitchen. Okay. Turned the Cookie Monster into the Veggie Monster, and so much more. Alright? At first, the citizens of Sesame Street thought Elmo was just joking around. However, when they started to notice that all the humans had gone missing, and that anyone who asked Elmo about the human whereabouts were immediately captured by Elmo's Secret Service agents. I don't know if this is a grammar error or not. Because, you know, you can easily say put an apostrophe S right there, but how it's worded, because, you know, a lot of Elmo toys have like Tickle Me Elmo and Elmo XXX, XYZ, stuff like that. So it's kind of makes sense. I do like it's weird. I could tell this is going to be a prime weed-filled cocaine trip. Am I on speed? I don't know. I don't smoke. I'm an oregano trip. I'm on an oregano trip. There. How to make a crack trip for people who don't have crack. Just say they eat an oregano. Too much oregano. They knew that this was not a prank, bro. Bro. I gotta stop going off topic, bro. But this is so hilarious, bro. After Elmo had complete power over Sesame Street, it was time for Phase 2 of Elmo's plan. Elmo announced that he would be giving a televised speech, and that he would love for all the world to watch. The world was unaware that Elmo had become a communist bastard, so people were happy to see what Elmo had to say, including a certain longtime fan. Okay? Meanwhile, Dick Cheney was enjoying his favorite new hobby. Look at Steven Universe Rule 34 fan art. I got a picture running, a GIF running, to highlight such an appropriate response to that right here. Yeah. Just superimpose me over Poppy's head. Worship the Poppy. So yeah, let me go back to this. Okay. More specifically, the Lapis Lazuli. Okay, that makes sense. That explains why it says featuring Lapis Lazuli. The Lapis Lazuli section of it. When Dick Cheney first laid eyes on her in the episode where she tried to murder 2 children, because of course they do. Of course, that's the reason why people love certain characters, because they murder children. Not making much sense. Dick knew he was in love with her. Okay? However, as he was looking through all the amazing porn, he got an email from his acquaintance, Harry Whittington. Dick opened up the email, and the email read, "Hey Dick, did you hear that Elmo will be giving a live speech on television today?" Dick Cheney was happy and surprised. Elmo had always been a one grammar error, Elmo has had two grammar errors right next to each other. Elmo has always been a, or if you want to make, if you want to do, had, oh, Elmo has always been, this makes more sense, had always be a great musician, a great, Sesame musician, over clearly what it says, American. Role model. And Dick was excited to see Elmo speak again, mainly because Elmo has such a way with words. Elmo has a way with words? Oh, okay. Elmo got the okay from the ESSA, Elmo Secret Service agents, and began to speak. People of the world, but specifically the United States of America. We are officially in bizarre world. This has not quite reached levels of Goku fighting Super Saiyan Hitler ridiculous, but it's getting there real fast. Before you say anything about wait, Super Saiyan Hitler? Yes, there is an actual fan fiction where Goku fights Super Saiyan Hitler. That's actually a thing. I may actually do a reading of it in the future because it's like probably the most iconic graphic ever. I gotta look that up so I can save it to my computer. Okay, first off, the United States of America. Just going back to there. Wait, let me just go. Yeah, let me just see if it. I can. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Let's see. Oh wait, I actually skipped a paragraph. Oopsie. Dick Cheney quickly turned on his small TV that he keeps on his desk and changes the channel to Sesame Street. There he saw Elmo, however, something seemed off, but Dick just ignored it since Elmo looked like he was about ready to give a speech, and I already read this. Elmo has a message for you! Dick Cheney started to get worried. Elmo's tone was so bitter and heartless. Elmo wants all you to know that Sesame Street is no longer a friendly, neutral state. Friendly, neutral. God dang, I messed that up again. Friendly, neutral street, not state. God dang. But we are now a communist street. A tear began. Two grammar, three. God damn it! I lost count. A tear began to form. That needs to have two. So I'm gonna say 3 errors. I think I got 3 errors wrong. Right? Yeah, 3 errors form in Dick Cheney's eye. And for those of you who deny Elmo's power, for those of you who or to deny 4 errors. Elmo then pushes a red button that was on the podium. At first, it seemed like it did nothing, but then the camera pans over to the Swedish new kitchen. The building opens up, and a missile shoots out of it at lightning speed. Wait, what? What? Okay. The camera then pans back to Elmo, who is now telling 2 of his ESSA members to grab something. About a minute later, the 2 ESSA members return with a large flat-screen TV and place it next to Elmo for all to see. One of the ESSA members turned on the TV, revealing the Muppets. Oh no. No. Sagan, you didn't. No. It appeared to be a live show with no sound. Miss Piggy and Kermit appeared to be talking to each other, but suddenly they stopped. They began to look around in confusion, and just as Kermit looked up in horror, there was a large You did. You killed the Muppets. Well, there goes that my sequel at the beginning of the video out of the way. The connection died a second later, the Muppets were dead, and Elmo just stood there and smiled. Wow. Elmo? Wow. Wow. Um, Dick Cheney couldn't take anymore. He quickly turned off the TV and began to cry. Dick was hoping that this was just a bad dream, but he knew it was all too real. Dick Cheney cried for about a minute. He didn't know how to deal with this. "Why, Elmo? Why have you forsaken us?" cried Dick Cheney at the top of his lungs. He had to do something, but what? Dick Cheney was about to send an email to George W. Bush Jr., but realized that he forgot to close his Lapis Lazuli porn. Dick decided that one last look would not hurt, and began to look at a picture of a completely nude Lapis. However, as he started her blue naked body, he got an idea. "I know what I must do," Dick Cheney said to himself as he went on to Amazon. After about a minute of searching, he found what he was looking for, a Lapis Lazuli gem. Oh, okay. 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 So, Chapter 2. Okay. Let's continue to the second chapter. Dick Cheney was waiting for the Lapis Lazuli gem to arrive at his mailbox. He knew that the gem was the only thing that stood between Elmo and world domination. Sure that you got the right Lapis Lazuli. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're a somewhat common gem. I know they're not rare. I know they're not really rare, but I also know they're not common. I know they're not common like more common gems like emerald or granite or marble. I think marble's a gem. No, marble's a rock. Granite's a rock too. I just know it's not a common gem. However, as he was waiting, his old friend George W. Bush came by for a visit. "How there, Cheney? What are you up to?" George asked, wondering why Dick was standing by his mailbox. "I'm waiting for something that will help me save America." This surprised George, but he decided to go along with it and wait by the mailbox with Dick. George had nothing better to do with his day anyway. After about 30 minutes of awkwardly waiting around the mailbox, the mail truck finally arrived. "It's finally here, yes!" Dick is so happy that he begins to jump up and down, while George just wonders why Dick is so happy. The truck comes to a stop, and the driver walks out holding Dick's package. However, as the driver walked out of the truck, George noticed something. "Wait a minute. You're a Russian!" George then proceeded to pull out of his M16. Wait, what? Where did he get the M16? Like, did he just pull it out of Hammerspace? I'm gonna assume Hammerspace. I'm gonna assume he pulled out of American Hammerspace. And began to open fire on the communists. As expected, the communists stood no chance against the mighty American bullets. However, Dick Cheney was freaking out over this. "George, stop! You might hit my package!" George stopped firing, and Dick grabbed his surprisingly undamaged package. "Alright, Dick, now what? Now will you tell me what's so important about this?" "First off, I have many questions. How did George know that it was a communist? 1. 2, how did the package survive all the firing? And 3, where did he get the M16? I'm guessing American Hammerspace, but then again, it's George Bush. He probably could have pulled it out of the wreckage of the Twin Tower. Bad joke is bad. I'll go home now. I'm back. Dick, however, did not answer, and instead motioned for him to come into his house. Upon entering the house, Dick immediately set his package on his desk. "Alright, George, before I open my package, I have to show you something." Dick then walked over to his laptop and accidentally opened up his Lapis Lazuli coin. "What the hell is wrong with you? Everyone knows that Pearl is the hottest one." Waifu Wars alert. I actually prefer, which one was the one? Amethyst. Not because, she's fat, but more because she's a fat ass. Although I do like, Blue Diamond. I feel like Blue Diamond. She's actually kind of a neat design. I don't know a lot of Steven Universe. I mainly just looked at the TV trophy page. And I looked at, like, all the commercials talking about the stuff. I don't know. Let's see. George said as Dick was trying to close the page, "No, that's not it. This is what I wanted to show you." Dick then opens up YouTube and shows George the video of Elmo giving his speech. Needless to say, George was shocked. "I knew this day would come. That rad bastard could never be trusted." George said with true anger in his voice, "I know how you feel, George, but fear not. I have something here that will help us." Dick opened up his package, revealing a Lapis Lazuli gem. George just stood there in confusion. But that's not all. Check this out. Dick then walked over to his bookshelf and pulled on one of his books. The bookshelf then slid open, revealing a secret laboratory. Okay. It's getting to Super Saiyan Hitler levels. It's still getting there, but it's getting closer. As Dick and George walked into the lab, George couldn't help but wonder why Dick had this lab. Dick, how and when did you get this lab? Dick just looked back at George in confusion. You don't remember? I got this when you and me raided the moon after Russia took it over. What was this? If I remember right, Neil Armstrong was the first person on the moon. I think he was. I don't know, American was the guy that first got on the moon. When did Russia take over it? Ask me. Or just think of ridiculous theory. You know what? Leave it a comments in the comment section below. How did Russia take over the moon? Did they just kick the American flag and just plant a Russia flag? Like, we claim this moon in the name of Russia. That's what I think happened. Like the Russians landed on the moon, they just saw the American flag and just kicked it over. After Dick said that, it all came back to George. Oh, I remember now. I was drunk when we did that, said George proudly. Okay. After walking around, George finally stopped at a large machine. It had a tube with "Put Rock In" written above it. Well, that's awfully specific. And the tube was connected to a large chamber with a door that had "Person Comes Out," I think, written above it. Who wrote this? Nikolai Belinsky? Oh, I remember now. Those Russians were planning to take rock samples from the moon and make soldiers out of them with this machine, George said. Oh, okay. So that explains how Russians took over the moon? I like my idea better. Fortunately for us, they were so stupid that they wrote their own instructions on how to use this machine in English. George and Dick shared a laugh. Ha ha ha. And then Dick walks up to the tube. Alright, let's do this. Dick said as he placed the Lapis Lazuli gem in the tube. The gem goes down the tube and eventually falls into the chamber. At first, it seemed like nothing happened, but then red mist started to fill the chamber. The gem started to float up and change into a female human-looking figure. The figure then grew a dress and some hair. The figure finally fell to the ground, and Dick was happy when he saw. It's her, Dick said happily. Okay. After the red mist cleared, Dick opened up the door. Dick then walked up to Lapis and helped her up. Who are you? Asked Lapis, who was shaken up. I'm Dick Cheney. Welcome to America. Dick said happily. Dick then helped her out of the machine and brought her towards George. I can't believe this actually worked, Dick said George happily. Alright, George, let's head back to my office. Then they walked back to Dick's office with newfound hope. Here, sit down at my desk, Lapis. Dick said as he helped Lapis to her desk chair. I have a feeling she's going to end up looking at the laptop. I just have a feeling. Alright, Lapis, we need you for something. Are you willing to help us? George asked. Well, you two did give me life, so I guess so, Lapis said happily. Happily said, my bad. Alright then, let me show you what we are doing with, Dick said as he opened up his laptop, but once again accidentally opened up his Lapis Lazuli port. Damn it, Dick! This is why you shouldn't bookmark porn, George said. Called it. As Lapis just stared at the porn of her with a blank expression. You know what that kind of reminds, this sentence reminds me of? It reminds me of an actual comic of Peridot kind of, it's an actual adult comic. I know I'm kind of one thing, but this is actually kind of relevant. This sentence reminds me of a comic called, I'm not going to name the comic, where there's a part in the comic where Peridot is kind of explaining to Amethyst, and it's like, I tried doing this weird thing where people kind of walk in naked and say, and they say, shut the door, and she kind of repeated the experiment with Lapis, and Lapis, opens the door, and Peridot's, holding open a towel, said, open the door, and she's like, I don't get it, and she has, a complete blank face on, or I guess you can just use this face, as the blank expression, because it actually kind of looked like that face, okay, so let's continue. Alright, now, this is what I wanted to show you, said Dick as he started to play Elmo's speech. Lapis watched the video with interest. However, about halfway through the video, a puppet busted through Dick's window. The puppet then ran towards Dick and held him at gunpoint. Okay, so that happened. Alright, you assholes, Elmo knows that you are plotting to stop him, so prepare to die. However, before he could shoot dead, Lapis summoned some water from a flower vase in Dick's office and threw it towards the communist puppet. What are you doing? This is all the puppet could say before the water formed a bubble around the puppet's head and he began to drown. After about 30 seconds, the puppet was dead. Couldn't the puppet have just held his breath? Or it's a puppet. I don't think they have... Do puppets have lungs? I'm reading way too into this. Thanks, Lapis. You saved my life, Dick said as he was catching his breath. Oh, it was no problem. So when can we kill Elmo? Lapis asked with a smile. So you enjoy killing communists? You already seem to have the American spirit, George said happily. Now let's not waste anyone's time. Let's get some guns and go kill Elmo. With that, they all walked out of Dick's office. Okay. It's finally time. After a long wait, it's time for Dick, George, and Lapis to finally put an end to Elmo and bring the American spirit back to Sesame Street. They have gotten their guns and are ready to kill some communists. But first, it's time for a beach episode. Okay, let's get back to the story. Dick, George, and Lapis arrived at Freedom Beach, and we're ready to have a fun time. Alright, let's get it changed in our beach outfits and have some fun, George said in an excited tone, as he began to change into his Disney swim trunks. Dick Cheney also began to change. However, he did not change into his swim trunks. He instead changed into a... Oh, god dang it. Oh, no. Don't put that image in my head. Lapis, however, seemed a little nervous. Dick took notice of this. Hey, Lapis, something wrong? Dick said as he finished putting on his G-string. Nothing's wrong. It's just the first time I've ever been to a beach. Oh, don't be scared. The beach is a fun place. Right, George? That's right. Now, let's get some ice cream. George then happily ran to the ice cream booth. Dick wanted to go along, but he wanted to wait for Lapis to finish changing. However, Lapis didn't want him to wait long for her. It's okay, Dick. You can go. I'll catch up when I finish changing. Oh, okay. If you say so. Dick then ran to the booth, leaving Lapis by herself. Okay? When Dick got to the booth, he was happy to see that George had already gotten his favorite ice cream. Hey, thanks, George. Dick said, hey, he took the ice cream? No problem. Hey, where's Lapis? She is still getting changed. She will be here momentarily. What kind of ice cream was it? I'm kind of curious. Is it cookies and cream? That's like the best ice cream. Dick and George waited there for a few moments, and while eating their ice creams, as they began to finish their ice creams, Lapis finally came out. As Lapis walked out, both George and Dick were left speechless with how hot Lapis looked in her orange bikini. Sorry, guys. Hey, guys. Sorry it took so long. George and Dick still stood there, not saying a word. Hey, guys. Are you okay? Dick and George still said nothing. Guys, can one of you help me with my bikini? It's still a little loose in the back. As soon as she said that, Dick and George's noses began to bleed, and then both of them fell to the ground. Both of them fell to the ground? What? Spell. 5 grammar errors. I'm just going to say 5. I would say 5 grammar errors. Now help me with my sickling hammer. Guys, are you okay? Dick and George finally got a hold of themselves and stood up. Yeah, I think we ate that ice cream too fast, Dick said, trying to find an excuse. Oh, okay, as long as you are okay. All three of them stood around for a moment, until George broke the silence. Hey, I'll show you some of the fun things we can do at the beach. Do they involve shooting people in orange vests? Yeah, that's a good idea, Dick said in agreement. 3 of them then began to run to the water. However, when they got on the sand, Lapis seemed completely amazed by the sand. She stopped, then began lay in the sand. Dick and George took notice of this. Hey, Lapis, what are you? George stopped talking when she saw... Oh, okay. So 7 errors. 1 here, and then began to... Oh, no. 8 errors. Yes, 2 here, 1 here. When saw that Lapis was rubbing the sand all over her body. George didn't know what to say. Oh man. George then ran into the water with Dick following him. Hey, George, is everything okay? Oh, man. I have boner, man. two then went silent and stood in the water for a good 5 minutes, while watching Lapis play in the sand. You know, maybe we should do something, so we don't look like two old men just standing in the water staring at a blue girl as she plays in the sand. Yeah, good idea. But we have a splash fight! George then splashed some water into... What is this, Family Guy? Is this turning to Family Guy? I don't know. Oh, so that's how you want to play it. Well, take this. Dick then splashed some water in George's face. This, of course, results in an all-out splash fight. The splash fight is so fun that George forgot about Lapis, and his boner is... Boner? Really? You misspelled boner? 11 errors. However, what they don't know is that trouble has arrived. While George and Dick played in the water, Lapis considered the play in the sand. While she was playing in the sand, two men walked up to Lapis and began to kick sand in her face. Some of it got in her mouth, and she immediately tried to spit it out, but the two men kept kicking more sand. Okay, just typical sand bullies. Fine. Fortunately, Dick took notice of this and immediately recognized the two men. Hey, George, stop. Those two beach bullies are being mean to Lapis. George looked at the two with disgust. Damn it, Obama. Oh, God dang it. Osama and Obama? Really? Okay. I have a question. Where did Osama come from? Isn't he like in the Middle East right now? Wait, wasn't he killed by Obama? No, he was killed by Team Steel 6. But Obama was the one who issued. So did Obama just fake kill this and then brought him to the White House and go, "Hey Osama, what? I'll let you live if you kick people with sand in their faces." All right, deal. Can I get coffee? Sure, what kind? Black, like my soul. All right then. Hey, what's gonna happen with the next presidency? I don't know. Someone will probably take over. I just hope it's that Clinton chick. Why? Because then she can keep doing stupid stuff like I did and get away with it. Donald Trump wins. We gotta help her. George and Dick then ran out of the water and immediately pushed the two bullies away from Lapis. However, Obama decided that he was not finished. You better get over side of the beach, or we will beat the crap out of you. Dick and Bush. Prime excellent wordplay right here. Just one sentence. You don't scare us, communists. You don't scare us, you communists. Quick, Bush, attack now. Dick and George then charged at Obama and Osama. Dick and George were, of course, able to easily beat the crap out of the two bullies. The bullies then ran away and hid in the beach's bathroom. Oh no! Obama! They beat the crap out of us! How can we possibly beat them? Osama said with true fear in his voice. Don't, worry, Osama, I have a plan to stop them. Outside the bathroom, Dick and George were helping Lapis up. Dick and George was the most concerned. Lapis, are you okay? Dick said, nearly on the verge of tears. Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little sand. Lapis stood up, brushed the sand off herself, and then stared at the water. Hey guys, how about we go swimming? Okay, let me just... Okay. Dick and George thought this was a good idea and started to head towards the water. However, as they were walking, the beach bathroom suddenly blew up. This caught all three of them off guard. They looked back to see what had happened. When the smoke finally cleared, they saw a man that looked like Obama, but had the beard of Osama floating in the air. You thought you could beat us? Well, we are now Obama bin Laden. So what? But this doesn't even sound like Obama bin Laden. It just sounds like Obama has a beard option floating around him. Oh, a man that looked like Obama, but the beard of Osama floating in the air. Obama bin Laden then charged at Dick and knocked him to the ground. He then turned to George and roundhouse kicked him, knocking George to the ground. He was then about to turn his attention to Lapis, but then noticed that there was a table made of water by him. Before he could do anything, water changes grabbed him and it should say water chains grabbed him. So 12 grandma enters and trapped him to the table. Lapis then walked up to him and placed a rag on his face. At the moment, Obama bin Laden realized what was happening, but it was too late. Lapis began to dump water onto the rag, and this caused Obama bin Laden to feel like he was being suffocated. Oh, so he's waterboarding. Oh, so Lapis is waterboarding Obama bin Laden. Karmic retribution. Obama bin Laden begged for her to stop, but she said nothing and continued to waterboard him. After about 5 minutes of this, Obama bin Laden unfused, the two were scared, and they ran as fast as they could from the beach while pissing themselves. Oh, that's 13 errors. Get rid of the apostrophe. Lapis then saw George and Dick had recovered, but were still in some pain. Hey, you guys want to grab some more ice cream and just lay on the beach? Lapis asked, and both Dick and George agreed that it was a good idea. They all grabbed their ice creams and laid on the beach for the rest of the day. Nothing else happened, they just relaxed, and when it started getting late, they decided to head home. Oh, okay. So let's get to the last chapter. Okay. Just checking what that was. Dick, George, and Lapis sat in their American-made helicopter. Like all smart Americans, they brought with them a lot of guns, a lot of beer, and a whole lot of burgers. You can't fight communists on anything so dang straight. Hot damn, these are some good old American burgers. Dick, where'd you get these from? George asked. McDonald's. Dick replied. Lapis couldn't help but stare in confusion at her two friends. They didn't even tell her what the plan was when they landed. Instead, they focused on the burgers. Guys? Dick and George looked up to see what their blue American wanted. Shouldn't we be focusing on the battle ahead of us? The two looked at each other in confusion. Then George remembered something very important. Wait, Dick, Lapis doesn't know about the American way. Before Lapis could question what this American way was, Dick handed her an M4 carbine and a beer. Our plan is simple. When we land, we get out and start shooting. Alright. That's come from the guy who inadvertently shot someone while hunting. Alright, fine. Dick explained, completely excited. Lapis looked over the gun. It felt good in her hand. Then she didn't understand the beer. What is this beer? Before Dick could get an American explanation, George pushed him out of the way. Beer makes you shoot better. Very important when fighting communists. You should drink. Before George could even finish, Lapis had already drunk the entire beer. More, please, Lapis asked while tipping the beer bottle upside down. George, of course, handed her another beer. Clear as she was more than ready to fight communists. Only a true American would drink pure American beer so quickly. I want a nice American beer, too. That a boy, Dick. With beers in one hand and guns in the other, they were truly ready to fight that communist bastard Elmo. There was just one problem, though. The pilot didn't have a beer. I'm pretty sure the answer should have been, they don't know where Sesame Street is. George couldn't bring himself to drink without making sure everyone had a beer. That wouldn't be very un-American. Hey, pilot guy, you want a nice American beer? George was very surprised to see the pilot was already drinking. However, he wasn't drinking American beer. He was drinking Russian vodka. Vodka? The pilot looked on in confusion. Wait, that was German. He says German. I mean, he says Russian. He speaks in Russian. I don't know what that says. I would actually copy and paste it to find out what it said, but I can't. You're a communist. George pointed his M40 carbine at the Russian bastard and opened fire. The American bullets made short work of the communists. Lapis and Dick looked on in shock. Our pilot was a communist? How could this happen? Dick wondered. Why are you not concerned that the helicopter is going to crash? Again, Dick and George looked at each other in confusion. This time, though, they couldn't figure out why she was worried. When the helicopter lands, we get out and start shooting. Don't you remember the plan? Dick asked. Before Lapis could respond, the helicopter crashed to the ground. Lapis was locked around a little and her gun was destroyed. Dick and George were seemingly not affected at all. Don't worry, Lapis, you get used to it, George commented. Now let's get shooting, Dick excitedly yelled. While Lapis got herself back up, Dick and George ran out of the back with backpacks full of guns, burgers, and beer. To their surprise, they crashed near one of Elmo's mini outposts. They knew they had to find cover, so they ran back into the helicopter. The moment they made it inside, the outpost guard opened fire. Oh boy, this will be like that one time when we helped Hank Hill. Remember that time, Dick? Wait, they helped Hank Hill? What? I'm confused. George yelled with glee. Now's not the time to reminisce, George. We gotta return fire. Dick pulled his custom-made M4 carbine with a grenade launcher attached out and ran out the face to the communist. Noob! Normally, Lapis would have questioned such regard for personal safety. Instead, she picked up a gun. Let's do this. George looked back at her with a smile, but was surprised by her gun and choice. A Calico M960. Why is that on the helicopter? What? I think it looks cool. George couldn't argue with that, of course. Well, a gun is still a gun, so let's go shooting. Oh, don't forget your backpack. Like a child on a sugar rush, George ran out without a care in the world. Lapis with her backpack on, followed behind and immediately ducked behind some helicopter debris. Dick and George were also behind said debris. Glad you two finally came out. Now it looks like we're dealing with 4 armed Elmo troops. George laughed a little hearing this. Only 4? Ha! George immediately stood up and started shooting. He managed to kill 2 of them before he crouched down. Lapis was quite impressed and inspired. Let me try. Lapis stood up and unloaded our clip in the 2 troops. Like all 9 Americans, they died within seconds. Dick and George already knew that Lapis was good at communists, but being able to shoot them proved just how good she was. Now that's what I'm talking about. George was extraordinarily proud of Lapis. Dick was also proud, but he only stared at her in silent awe. Lapis got a little worried. Dick, are you okay? Dick snapped out of his trance. Sorry about that. Normally, you gotta fight communists for a few years before you get good at shooting. You truly are amazing, Lapis. Lapis couldn't help but give a proud American smile. Well, this was quickly interrupted by George. Hey, check out this garage. Alright. Lapis and Dick made their way over to the garage. With their helicopter destroyed, they would need some way of getting to Sesame Street. Fortunately for them, inside was a military-grade Jeep with no top. Well, hot damn, I call backseat, George yelled right before jumping into the back. Lapis looked over the Jeep. She didn't really know what to make of it, but she liked it, though that was mostly because George really seemed to like it. Dick volunteered himself to drive the Jeep. George was dead set on sitting in the back, and Lapis probably didn't know how to drive. This wasn't anything new, though, since George always liked to sit in the back of random vehicles they found. This time, though, someone would actually be sitting in the passenger seat. Lapis couldn't help but be a little nervous, though. It was her first time running in a car, and she didn't know what to expect. Dick took notice of this. Don't worry, Lapis. I've been driving for... No time for talking, Dick! Let's go! George was right. At the moment, more Elmo troops could show up. Wouldn't take long for Elmo to notice that one of his outposts had gone quiet. Also, George just really wanted to have some fun. Because, of course, just shooting Muppets... not Muppets, Sesame Street characters everywhere is a real fun time. Not... Okay. Dick slammed on the gas and drove out of the garage at American speeds. They made their way out of the outpost, but not before doing a few donuts. Just in time, too, as an Elmo transport could be seen pulling up to the now open garage. Lapis was the only one that saw this, as Dick and George were having too much fun to notice. She wasn't worried. She assumed that things like that I'm messing up the sentence. She assumed that things like that always happened to them. Instead, she decided to just enjoy the ride. George shook his head was, yeah, Jeep, yeah, woo! While George bounced up and down on the seat, Dick was going around 90 miles an hour down the empty road. He didn't say anything, but the open-mouthed smile on his face showed just how much fun he was having. This continued for a while until they finally got close to their destination. In the distance, they could see that Elmo had been busy. A large fence surrounded Sesame Street, with guard towers scattered around. There was no way they could sneak in. The only safe way was the gate. Well, Dick, you know what to do, George said with a smile. Dick nodded and slammed on the gas. Lapis started to get worried when she realized he was driving right up to the gate. What are you doing? Dick looked to her with a reassuring smile. We're busting in. Hold on tight. Lapis took his advice and held onto the seat. George pulled his gun out, ready to shoot any guards that tried to stop him. Dick was completely focused on the gate and knew that George would keep him safe. 2 guards stood by the gate, ready to kill anyone that tried to get in. Normally, Elmo would have stationed more guards, but he was expecting Dick and George to ride in a helicopter. So most of the guards were on anti-air patrol. That makes sense. When they saw the Jeep coming at them, they opened fire, though this didn't last long as George was able to make short work of them. With no one else in their way, they busted open the gate. Inside, they could clearly see what Elmo had done to the place. Sesame Street was in a complete state of poverty. Only factories and weapon buildings could be seen. No one could be seen walking around. A tier. 14 errors. 1 tier. A tear rolled down Dick's face as he truly saw what communists had done to the once great Sesame Street. Lapis was shocked to see how sad Dick suddenly was. It almost caused her to cry. George wanted to say something to cheer her up, but he couldn't think of anything. Not when they were staring at such a horror. Dick was the one to finally break the silence. Let's liberate this place. With no other warning, Dick slammed on the gas. George and Lapis wanted to question Dick, but figured that he knew what he was doing. It's the American way. Many Elmo soldiers started to shoot at their Jeep as they drove by, but none of them could hit it. They were so bad that Lapis wasn't even scared anymore. If anything, she found it funny. Maybe puppets are just bad at being soldiers, Lapis wondered. Starting to look that way. Maybe that's why you never see puppets in the army, George added. They continued the drive while listening to the gunshots. This went on for a little bit until Dick abruptly stopped next to the only non-trashy building. It didn't take long for Lapis and George to realize that this was more than likely what Elmo was. About time, these Elmo soldiers are starting to get boring, George said, as they looked around at the soldiers still missing their shots. Yeah, let's just hope Elmo puts up a good fight, Lapis added. Dick looked back at them with a very serious look on his face. This isn't about just fighting anymore. This is about liberating Sesame Street and shooting guns! Okay? Dick pulled his gun out and ran into the building. Lapis and George looked at each other and followed behind. It looked like the libertarian mission was going to be much shorter than anticipated. Inside, though, they were surprised to see that the building was empty. It looked more like a warehouse than anything else. They thought that Dick might have been wrong. As they go further in the building, though, they saw something very disturbing. Small nukes. Lots and lots of small nukes, all ready to be used. What in the heck is going on here? What is Elmo planning? Dick wondered. It didn't make any sense to them. Why create a bunch of small nukes if you could create a bunch of big nukes? They wouldn't have to wonder for long, though, as a giant wall-mounted TV turned on. On that TV was Elmo. Now that you are out here, I, Elmo, am planning. Are you going to plan on showing like a gigantic communist mech firing rockets and they have to team up Wolfenstein style? Three looked at Elmo with pure anger in their eyes, but didn't interrupt him. I know what you Americans are like. This is why about all these nukes. When the time comes, I will nuke every McDonald's in America. That's your plan? That's your plan? Just blow up McDonald's? Then people will just go to Burger King. What's next? You're gonna bomb Burger King? What's next? You're gonna go to Wendy's? Bomb Wendy's? You ain't gonna bomb Wendy's on my watch. All three of them gasped at the same time. You monster! We won't let you get away with this, Dick yelled. Elmo simply laughed. If you want to stop me, you will have to beat me. The TV suddenly turned off. The three looked around frantically for what Elmo could be planning. It became very clear when a large garage door opened. On the other side of that door was a 10-foot-tall battlesuit with 2 Gatling guns mounted on his shoulders and the North Korean flag on his. I knew it. This fight is going Wolfenstein, man. Still not as weird as Goku versus Super Saiyan Hitler, but it's getting there. Well, we're almost out. Unless we get some kind of weird swerve, I don't see this ever reaching the amount of weirdness on Super Saiyan Hitler. I worked the Elmo workers nearly to death to make this. Now prepare to be killed by a cheerleader. The three had gotten what they wanted. Elmo was ready to give them a true fight and walked out with an evil laugh. Now they just needed to show Elmo the American way. Everyone spread out, Dick commanded. George ran behind. How far am I? Okay, nearly 50. God dang, 15. No, not Norton. George nearly ran out behind the nukes while looking through his backpack. Dick stayed where he was and fired at Elmo with everything he had. Lapis managed to get behind Elmo, but didn't really know what to do. Dick's bullets were just doing nothing to Elmo. Your American bullets are no match for me. Now witness the true power of communism! The roof of the building suddenly opened and the missiles pointed to the sky. The large TV turned back on and a 20-minute timer started to count down. George had a look of absolute horror on his face. We gotta stop Elmo now! George pulled 2 guns out and opened fire, and Elmo simply laughed and started to shoot at George and Dick. The two started to run around the room to avoid the communist bullets while Elmo continued to laugh. Fortunately, God dang it. Elmo had completely forgotten. This is 15 errors. Elmo had completely forgotten about Lapis, who was still standing beside Elmo. She still had no idea what to do. American bullies clearly weren't working. This is looking bad. If only it had somewhat. Lapis suddenly remembered something. She reached into her backpack and pulled out a 12-pack of beer. She quickly poured 6 of them on the ground while drinking the other 6. That's a great waste of beer. And I don't even drink beer, and even I can tell. That's a waste of beer. Unless it's like Budweiser, and it's like, okay, fuck the beer. Elmo was still focused on Dick and George, so Lapis knew that it was now or never. She used her powers to lift the beer puddle up and threw it at the nukes. Suddenly, static could be heard coming from the launching platforms. A large red error message could be seen flashing on the TV screen. Elmo stopped shooting to see what was going on. What? How could they? Elmo noticed all the beer covering the platform. At that moment, he looked behind and noticed Lapis. You ruined everything! Elmo backhanded Lapis from across the room. Dick and George looked on in horror as she hit the wall incredibly hard. Lapis! They both yelled in unison. To everyone's surprise, though, Lapis stood right back up. Is that... Oh, God! Tommy! Elmo was extraordinarily pissed at this point and opened fire at her. Lapis simply formed a beer shield around herself and started to laugh at Elmo. George and Bush watched in awe, then they realized that they had an opportunity to do some damage. Quick, Bush! Take my grenade launcher and destroy these Gatling guns. Sounds good, Dick. But what are you? Bush docked and smiled when Dick started eating a bunch of burgers. Oh, man, Dick, it's been years since I saw you kick someone's ass. Yeehaw! Okay. George loaded up the grenade launcher and fired directly at Elmo's back. His suit didn't take much damage, but the Gatling guns were rendered useless. Lapis continued the drunk laugh at Elmo as Elmo turned around and yelled at Dick and George. You Americans are really starting to piss me off! Elmo ran at the two, not really caring that his plans were completely ruined. All he cared about now was killing those American bastards. However, when he tried to punch one of them, Dick was effortlessly able to block it with his chest. Elmo was confused while Dick simply smiled. Get ready for American ass whooping. So, wait. He ate a whole bunch of American burgers to turn into a brick house? What? What? No, this is just too stupid. Dick punched Elmo directly in the face, going completely through the helmet. Elmo fell to the ground with a thud, but quickly got back up. To his shock, though, Dick had ripped his shirt off to reveal his strong toned muscles and his glowing six-pack. America, heck yeah! So McDonald's makes you super buff. Okay. Dick unleashed a barrage of punches on Elmo at American speed. No, we have to go faster than light speed. We have to go American speed. I don't think what's wrong, Sanders? Chicken? Prepare the ship for American speed. I had to do the reference. Elmo could do nothing but to stop him. George ran up to Lapis to make sure she was okay, though he didn't even need to ask her since she couldn't stop laughing at the ass kicking Elmo was receiving. George decided to join in on the laughing. They continued for about 5 minutes until Lapis had a drunk idea. Hey, Dick, throw in the air, really high up. Dick had no idea what she was planning, but he really wanted to find out. So instead of throwing Elmo, he simply just uppercutted him really hard. It was the American way. Lapis used her water powers to make a beer hand and grabbed one of the mini nukes. While Elmo was flying straight up in the air, Lapis threw the nuke directly at Elmo. The explosion was bright and loud for all of Sesame Street to see. Dick and George watched in awe at what she had done. Lapis, on the other hand, grabbed another beer and watched with a drunk smile. When the explosion finally cleared, Elmo came crashing down right in front of them. His battlesuit was melted and rendered useless. Elmo was dazed, confused, but still alive. George pointed his gun at Elmo's face, ready to finally end it. But then, no! Don't shoot him! The three turned to see who had said that. Fortunately for them, it was another true American. Big Bird! Why shouldn't we shoot this communist? George asked. You don't understand. That's not Elmo! Big Bird grabbed one of the beers and poured it in Elmo's open mouth. The moment he did this, Kim Jong-il's spirit left Elmo's body and floated up out of the building. You haven't seen the last of me, I'm so weak. Dick and George were completely shocked by this. Lapis was also shocked, but she was too drunk to show it. Well, Dick, that explains the North Korean flag on the battlesuit, George said, feeling kind of dumb. Yeah, I should have known that Elmo would never betray America. Lapis was too busy eating a burger to say anything. Big Bird pulled Elmo out of the suit and held him in his arms. Even though Elmo was probably in a lot of pain, Big Bird was just happy that he was safe now. Though he knew the countless lives lost to Kim Jong, Elmo would forever stay in their street's reputation. I'm going to take Elmo to the hospital. The people and puppets of Sesame Street thank you for helping us in our greatest need. As Big Bird walked away, George looked at the nukes. Though the launch platforms were ruined, the nukes clearly still worked. Hey, Dick, call up a truck to take these nukes back home. Dick liked this idea. Good thinking, George. You never know when nukes might come in handy. After calling a truck for delivery, the three went back to their jeep. Lapis needed some help since he was too drunk to walk. But that was about it. As they wait a minute, Drip needed some help. One final error. 16 hours. As they drove out of Sesame Street, many puppets cheered them on. Dick simply smiled and waved while George and Lapis were chanting America repeatedly. It would take a while before they got back home, but they didn't mind. They had done a great American deed, and Sesame Street will never forget. This isn't the end, though. Kim Jong-il's spirits were still free, and they knew he would strike again. And when he did, the three Americans would be there to stop him. You can count on that. So this is my general thought on the story. Just this. Just Poppy's head constantly exploding. What did I read? Like, what did I actually read? I feel I lost a few IQ points reading the story. This is just so ridiculous. It's nowhere near as close as Goku fighting Super Saiyan Hitler, but I have a feeling this was probably the point. That, hey, I'm gonna copy that one fan fiction where Goku fought Super Saiyan Hitler, and that one, and he tried his best, but came with those. It's still ridiculous. Although, why is this story a suspense story? I don't know. I would say humor parody. That just makes more sense. Overall, if I had to rate the story, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I just think the story is just pure ridiculous, and I have nothing else to say about the story, other than America. It's fine for what it is. The plot is simple, but effective. I mean, it's just, I can't really describe the story in any detail besides America. Read the story yourself. You know what? You review this story for me. I did a reading of this story. I think it's ridiculous, and what sheer WTF factors into this. Characters fine or okay. Plot is okay. It's implemented kind of decent. There's a bunch of grammar errors, and it's at least based. It has some good pacing, but I wouldn't praise the story for anything other than the whole what did I just read. So that's it. So that's my reading of Kim Jong-Elmo versus Dick Cheney and George Bush featuring Lapis Lazuli. This has been Dark Symphony 777. This is, please just tell me. See, your opinion matches with mine. This is just a weird WTF story. So this has been Dark Symphony 777 and cut.